At some point, it's very normal for a chief, a leader of a tribe to have more than one woman. It doesn't even make sense for him to have one woman. He's the goddamn fucking chief. He wants to spread his fucking seeds and he could kill everybody. Like all kings, all emperors had a lot of queens and women. Every man that I talk to wants that. Some men don't, but again, let's not judge it until we do it. Let's not say, I don't want any money because money is the root of evil until you make some fucking money. Then give it up and say it.
Yo, it's your boy Phil Wam Bam Benamino. It's another Wam Bam Wednesday, the show about ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. And as always, first, subscribe, baby. Click the button down below. Hit the alert button. Get all the alerts. Get all the good information because you don't want to miss any of it because you never know who's going to be on the show. In fact, today's guest, I got a special treat again because he's back. You wanted him before. His name, Arash.
But you can call me Arish.
But I call him Spider.
Also
Spider-Man is in the house. How are you, buddy?
Man, it's good to be back.
Yeah, man, good to see you.
You look younger. You look healthier.
Thank you.
More handsome. You got more jewelry on.
Yeah, I'm working. You know, I've been working on myself, dude. Self. That's what it's all about. Without yourself, you don't need wealth.
Without myself, who's there to be? There to be?
Right? Mm-hmm. So listen, man, how's things been going for you? You know, last time we met, we talked. You talked about a lot of different things that you were going on. You got your, you got your nation, a crew behind you. I know you got a lot of them here in the studio, always supporting you and stuff. How's Vegas been treating you? I know you moved out here in Vegas, made a full commitment. What's it been like?
We've been here for a year, and I got to tell you, Las Vegas is like that soil. And it reminds me of Tupac, a rose from the concrete, you know? Like what I was in the Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay Area. I love my home over there.
Yeah.
And, but it's not the right place to look like me and act like me and be like me.
Yeah.
Right? There was just nothing to work with over there. And so coming to Vegas was off of a vision and it's been perfect. It's been perfect. Like what took so much effort over there is really effort. There's a spirit to each city, each neighborhood, each house, right? And I believe the spirit of Vegas called me here because it was a vision one day. Like I never thought I'd be here like that, you know?
Right.
But being here, I understand what it is. You know what I mean? Because everything I do here seems to be somehow supported by the wind. You know what I mean? Just put the sail up and we're moving.
Right.
I don't have to row the fucking boat anymore.
You know, it's so funny because I had a guest in here the other day, also Jessica Stone, who actually is a very spiritual person and works off of that energy.
Okay.
Like that's all it's all about. So we actually did we honed in on a big session and it's amazing the amount of energy and what you can gain off of somebody.
Amazing.
That's positive is great. The bad can be bad too, right? Can take you down. So you got to be able to establish the difference and stuff. So, you know, your whole impact on the world, what you're trying to do. Explain to the viewers, what is your goal?
Okay, I've changed a lot in recent times, okay? And I take a lot of pride in that because if we take a look, what's my goal with the world? There isn't a goal with the world. I don't think I'm big enough to have a goal for the world. But if you say,
what's a goal for you?
For myself,
yeah.
That
you really, share with the world.
Bruce Lee said it best, okay? To truly express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, but to truly express who we are. That's a big deal. And it sounds so flowery when I say it, but that's really the quality of my life is the quality of my expression and my ability to communicate and get my ideas out and understood or heard and others. And so what's my goal in life really is just to continue to understand myself and others and this magic called life that has become so ordinary.
Yeah.
Right? When it's the most magical thing if you just wake up for 1 minute. And going through these ups and downs of emotions, we all deal with the same shit, you know? So seeing how to maneuver through that and find a way to really live, you know, and not just exist, not apologize for being here, not apologizing for who we are, and seeing what life would give us if we stopped resisting it and started like open arms, like with arms wide open, like let's go.
Little Creed, baby.
What would happen?
Little Creed right there.
Yeah, little Creed right there. What would happen? So my goal in life is just to continue exploring these ideas that come to me that seem to excite my soul. You know what I mean?
Right. Now,
And-
let me explain something to you, though. You know, watching you out there, you know, you have your AZD Nation, you know,
IMC Nation, yeah.
IMC Nation, and you know, these guys are following you around, and you're giving them advice about how to get women, how to get the most attractive woman, how to get that 10 where they can level up instead of leveling down, right? How has that been going, and why do people gravitate to you so much for that?
I love that question, man, because let's say we start a whole movement and we could say, in order to acquire a beautiful woman, now we're making it very shallow right now, but it's for the sake of the conversation. Everybody has to understand listening, right? We have to use some shallow words and we'll go deeper later. But to start off with, to get women, beautiful women, right? We could say, you know, you could become very wealthy and use money to get beautiful women. That would be true. And you could start a whole class on that, you know, how to use your money, how to take care of the girl, what to
That'd be
purchase
easy.
for yourself.
Just go
I'm
buy
just
it.
saying there's one way
That's
to do
easy.
that,
Yeah,
right?
that's easy.
Yeah, we could go to pimp school,
Yeah.
right? And not knowing anything, we could come out of the pimp school with a legit bona fide pimp and we would know how to get women. But that's a little bit different, right? So there's a lot of different ways to get women, right? But for me, it's like, you asked me what the goal of my life was. Okay, so that goal has expressed itself as a man in having beautiful women in my life, right? I know, being a man, talking to so many men, there's nothing more fulfilling than having a beautiful woman look at you as a man, really, like look up to you as a man and give you that natural primal feeling that we're supposed to have when we're around each other, especially in today's world.
It's called love.
Love.
called love,
so we
man.
label it, right?
Yeah,
Label it.
yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be loved?
Exactly.
You know?
Right. By
But
someone that you
loved for you, not for what you have.
Okay, so that's where we are.
That's the difference, right?
That's where we are. Because the only advice that I give is literally, like, let's say I'm going to do a class tomorrow morning. It's going to be on how I maneuvered in my life today. That's visible, and that's why people are around me, because my life became supernatural to the outside. So people thought I was hiring actresses, and I was like, I was not, you know, I was just making a little video blog and talking about my day. And so I invited anybody who wanted to come see to come close. Now we have, like you said, there's a movement, because what would happen if I saw a man who was able to communicate in a way to be able to express his value to the woman, the right woman, pick the right woman, and create from zero. We don't know each other. Wow, she's beautiful. Oh, he's handsome, whatever. From there to a fulfilling relationship. Today, on this day, April 2nd, is my 19th year anniversary with my girlfriend, my first girlfriend, who's still with me. Yeah, and she was the one. Yeah, her name is Electra. Shout out to Electra.
Why 19 years?
Because 19 years ago, I met her.
Why haven't you married her?
I mean, if marriage was something that would make sense, I would do it. You know, I have
So you're
multiple
still
girlfriends,
not
right? I
there.
have multiple girlfriends.
Okay,
I have multiple,
they know
so
that?
Of course.
They're
yeah.
okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
So
There's
women
no
don't
lying.
mind sharing you with other people.
Well, to say women don't mind, some women mind, you know, but some women do, some women don't. It's
Yeah.
different, you know, and again,
How do you navigate that? How do you, Valentine's Day comes around.
I don't celebrate it.
You don't celebrate.
Oh, well, let me tell you, actually, it changed this time, because I have several girlfriends that I've been with for over 8-9 years. So that's like family now. We're so close. We know each other for so long, right? And then since I got to Las Vegas, I got into a few new relationships.
Right. That could happen here.
Yeah. These new relationships, they really know nothing about me. They know the guy they met outside, and he was attractive enough, and we got close. And, you know, I mean, we're talking about the oldest relationship now is about 10 months since I've been here. Now, 10 months is not long enough to get to know somebody, especially so we don't spend every day together. I'm busy, she's busy, right? So I understand when Valentine's Day came around, I kind of just feel the vibe from the woman. Each person's different, right? Birthdays are the same thing. And when I saw that the relationships that I was in valued Valentine's Day, and how did I know that? Because, you know, I get a text, oh, baby, I got you something for Valentine's Day. Oh, okay. So now that's a clue for me. I can be the guy and be like, well, you know, I don't celebrate Valentine's. I could do that. No, I'm just going to understand that where she is right now, she doesn't know me yet. My other girlfriends and I, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. That's the ones that I told you 8-9 years. That's, what the fuck is that, right? But this is new. And maybe 8 or 9 years from now, we don't need to do that. But recognizing if there is secrets to having multiple relationships and fulfilling ones, is to recognize that each individual you're with is a completely 100% different universe you're dealing with. You can't combine them at all. It's like knowing you and knowing him.
Right. Different
energy.
energy.
Like you have two friends. Why do you need three? Like, what are you talking about? It's like these are different people. We relate differently to each other.
Right.
Right. And that allows a man, myself, to gain perspective on myself in a very unique way that many men will never get a chance to do that, you know, because these become mirrors. A relationship is a mirror, and they're deep relationships. 9 years, 16 years, 19 years, you know what I mean? Like the smallest being 10 months. And I don't think that's going to be ending anytime soon.
So let me ask you, do they have multiple relationships too?
No, they actually don't talk to any other guys. They don't have any relationships.
Are they allowed to?
It's not a matter of allowed would mean like I have some sort of control that I don't.
Okay.
And I'm aware of that, right? Is it our agreement that they have? Is it in our relationship? In our agreement,
it's communication. Let me ask you, how would you feel about it if you knew?
Well, I wouldn't be with a girl that would want to be with another guy, because it's not natural in the natural cycle of things. Everything I teach works because it's off of science. It's not opinion. If it was opinion, there's no way I'd be able to do what I do, right? I literally have to almost every single night, because I go out a lot. I have to sit there and try to work out the science of what I just did, because it's 100% every time. And you know, you could talk to my friends, my students, my haters. They know I'm going to make the shot every single night. I've never missed, ever. And I mean that.
Yeah.
You should come out with me one time.
Yeah. So
whatever.
Check that out. But
yeah.
But the reality is this. So you got a couple girls, though. Obviously 19 years. She's physically attracted to you. She's mentally, emotionally attracted to you. So the reality is you guys have a connection.
Beyond, yeah.
Okay, beyond.
Soul,
yeah. But yet you don't want to commit just to her.
What do you mean by commit just to her? Because if you ask her,
she's going to be the only lady for you, the only one you're going to lay next to, the only one you're going to sleep with, the only one you're going to kiss on. You know what I'm saying? That you're going to have physical romance with.
Yeah. So if we take a spoon and we start using it to hit a nail in the wall, we can do that better than our hands, right? But that's not what a spoon is for. And if we take a coffin, we can sleep in it, and we can do it. We could use many things for other things, but they're built for something. My question to that, it's a question I have to ask first, because we have to set the groundwork, is the human male, Homo sapiens, is he designed by nature? And if God created nature, then by God, whichever direction, evolution or whichever God, was our design, our state of mind and our state of body and emotions? We're not even missing one. Were you and I designed to mate with one woman? Scientifically, evolutionary, or is that something that was taught to us and enforced on us with heavy consequences, and that's why it's tabooed? Is it tabooed because it's against the law of nature and we're built against it? Or is it tabooed because nature built men to be with multiple women? That's how life continued. And it's not wrong if it's consensual, it's in the open, and nobody else besides the two people should ever be involved in a relationship. Not your mom, not your dad, not my mom, not my dad, not your best friend, not your ex, not your preacher, right? This is a relationship between you and I, two adults, and we're going to decide how we're going to do it. So committing to her, I've committed to her because, you know, like one of her last texts to me about a week ago or so that really was a nice text for me to get. She wrote something like, "Thank you for being so faithful to me for the last 18 and a half, whatever years," right? So if you ask her if I've committed to her, I've committed to her 100%. In fact, I'm the man who's been with some of the most beautiful women, right? Who loved,
you put it out there. That's what I'm saying. They watch it.
And who've loved me and have given me everything. Ready? And my relationship with the 19 years has been so tested that when I turn to her and I say, "I love you and I want to stay with you," I'm not somebody who might suddenly go cheat or lose my relationship because another woman showed me interest. The most beautiful women have wanted me to just be with them, but there's no way I'm going to do that, right? So I believe that my commitment to her is much more because I've been with so many women, and 19 years later, I would still say that I'm blessed, I'm lucky, I'm fortunate. There's no words to describe it. It's a miracle, really, for me. You know what I mean? It's a miracle. And I feel like that, ready now, about every relationship. And then someone could say, "But how could you do that?" I would say, look, from where you are, you might not be able to see that. But if you're in it, it makes sense what I said. Because otherwise, first of all, if they weren't all miracles, there would be no need for a second one. I already have that. Like you said, why would I need another one? So it would have to be something as valuable as what I said. But it can't be the same thing because it's not the same person. So what is it? What if I could see another individual the quality that makes him a miracle in my life, and I take care of him and cherish him the way God wants as a man, give my best. And what does a woman want? Safety, security, know that her man is strong, know she chose the right man. So that nature's code is in, and I prove it by my lifestyle. And that's the challenge to the world. I'm challenging the world to say this. I think a lot of people's depressions, men, let me talk about men. Men's depressions, men killing themselves, all that, is because somewhere in the back of that, you're going to find a broken relationship with a woman. She left, she cheated, or he couldn't get her and she went with, like, we know this story.
It's loss.
Loss of a woman is
fear.
breaking the man.
And fear of being alone.
Exactly, right? And so we're not talking about a light subject here. We're talking about something that can really change people's state of mind and their health and their beingness. If you have someone that comes into your life and they're attractive and they start giving you the right attention, you might go home suddenly and look in the mirror and go, man, I need to go to the gym again. Right. And someone would say, well, that's shallow because you should do it for yourself. You're missing it. I am doing it for myself. I was depressed until I met the person. I saw something in them. They saw something in me. I started to get happy. For myself, I shall go to the gym. Don't judge me like that. Just be happy I'm going to the fucking gym.
That's why when anybody goes through a breakup, what's the first thing that happens? They go to the gym. They work on themselves. They start looking better. They start feeling better.
Some people get depressed and they can't recover. Some people get depressed.
Yeah, but I think at the end, they all end up in the gym.
Really?
Like, oh, yeah. They all end up in the gym.
Or like you said, be a lot more fit people.
Yeah, well, they are until they find another girl. You know, and then all of a sudden they go back to the old ways. That's just it. When they're by themselves, men are fit by themselves. If you will see most men and they're by themselves, they're pretty fit because they're taking care of themselves. They're worried about them. They're worried about their mental health, their physical health, everything else that goes with it. But once a woman comes along, boom, starts messing with the head. God forbid, 2 women, 3 women, 4 women. Okay, what do I do? What do I do? Which way do I go? Mm-hmm. Then they just fall right back into the lax.
Yeah, the women are the representation of Eve and the yin, which is the dark energy. So she's there to test the man's strength. That's the way it is. Nature designed her so that if a woman likes you a lot, she'll actually test you. Don't expect a woman who likes you to come around and just be all over you and like you. Expect her to test your character, test a lot of things. And that's how you actually get the most beautiful woman on the planet, is they're checking your character. They could have anything they want.
Yeah.
Any man could give them whatever they want. So what is it that attracts a woman of the highest value in life, right? She has to know that you could handle her chaos. You have to handle her mind. You have to handle her emotions. That you can, basic bottom line, you're somebody she will follow. And that's the problem, because everybody's brainwashed into the other way, which is like, you could lead yourself. No, women are there to follow and men are there to lead. End of story. And then there's movements. And we talked about Tate last time a little bit, right? Mm. And that has its place. It's just it's a sexual strategy in the jungle. You could do that and get women. What's going to happen at the end of that is a lot of secrecy. You couldn't get on a podcast and speak like this about it. If you did, you would piss off a lot of people. I don't think anybody listening to me would get really pissed off unless they have like a real personal, like Carl Jung problem in themselves. You know what I mean?
Do you get any haters on me? Do you get any women that come at you like, you got 5 girls? That's bullshit.
What
like,
what I do get, which is interesting, is on my other, because I don't run all my social media, and sometimes I go and I check, and the ones that post my videos, like a lot of, like, let's just say whatever I'm talking about, and you'll hear a woman say, this guy doesn't get one woman. Like it's like, yeah, actually I do a lot.
Right.
That's the kind of hate I get. In person, I don't get hate. I get high level of curiosity, because I know how to present it.
Well, you're a curious person. I mean, just look at you. And listen, you've gotten a lot more jewelry too since I last saw you.
Jewelry, yeah. No, I gave up a lot of jewelry. I got grills, but I gave up.
That's what I'm saying.
I gave up a lot of jewelry. I would wear. Look at the last show. I would wear a lot of jewelry, but I gave that up. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you're an interesting person.
Okay.
You got all the tattoos all over. People want to know what is the meaning for. Well, because I know everything does have a meaning.
Yeah.
Is it based on relationships?
My look prevents a lot of women from talking to me. Would you believe that?
No, I believe it's hard to 100%. I'm sure of that because it's intimidating.
Yeah,
they fear like what
they don't know me. It's like, who the fuck's that guy? Right. I get it,
but you're a great guy.
We got to get to know me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and isn't that more exciting? Let's say to a woman to have to go through that to get to know me than there's that Abercrombie and Fitch guy and I know what he is, and there's that like that's the art of seduction, and seduction is fun. Every man loves it if a woman knows how to seduce him properly. He can't stop thinking about her, right? And women have even they're not even being seduced anymore because they're the ones in control. they're whipping the guys, right?
It's the art of the kill.
Exactly.
Right?
But if you know how
we're
to
hunters. Men are hunters.
men are hunters.
You know?
So what are we hunting these days then?
Yeah. Well, some men
Safeway?
are some men are hunting other men.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
these
it
days.
does-
So
that's-
doesn't matter. Same thing.
It's in our soul,
Yeah.
right? So if we're hunters, she's not a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like we're in Vegas right now. The girls that
I don't know,
we
some
see,
girls that are hunting.
but that's what I'm saying. It's not natural though. Let's go back to the tribes.
Yeah.
And tomorrow morning, the women get up and they got their spears on and they're going to go out for 8 hours and work so they could eat. That's the one that work in Vegas, 8 to 10 hours. So of course, do that over a long period of time. Survival is going to kick in and their nature is going to begin to change a little bit. Now it's like, no, I don't need a man and I make my own money and all that. That's understood that you have that. You survived like that. But you survived like that because you failed at your relationship. You see, every one of, every independent woman can be traced down to, she had a relationship and it was going really well. And then she was cheating on or something. And then she was like, I don't need this shit anymore. And then she did it for herself.
Let me ask you something. Why
Yeah.
do people cheat?
Well, exactly that. It's in our genetics. We're calling it cheating. You see that? Like I'm not cheating. I'm with other women. Okay, what would be cheating? We're playing the.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Let's just say you're married.
Yeah.
Let's just. I know you're not, but let's just say you're married.
Okay.
Hypothetically.
Okay.
You're married and you committed to one woman.
Okay.
Okay. And you seen that woman kissing another woman. Is she cheating?
For me, yeah.
She is.
For me, but that's
Right.
that's a personal thing.
No,
Yeah.
no, but I
Some
understand
people say
that.
no, yeah.
Some people say, oh, if it's a girl on a girl, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's
For
not
me, it
cheating.
is.
But if it was a guy and she was kissing a guy, then it's a different story.
For me, it's the same story for both. But again, that's what I've realized about relationships. There isn't a set rule. There's you and I agreeing how. Like I have my own background. I'm 48 years old right now, and let's say one of
Oh,
my
you look good for 48.
Thank you. I
AZD.
feel great. Let's say one of my girlfriends is 25, right? That's a big age range.
Sure.
How does one relate to that? With all these ideas society has put in us through movies and our own parents everywhere, man, books and all that, we're trying to follow a storyline and we're forgetting to just be present and say, it starts like this. I like this person. Okay, great. Okay, I'll give you an example, right? I was just at a friend's house. She's a girl. She is a friend. We're not dating. But the interest is there in dating because I'm not going to pretend like I'm just your friend. Yeah, we're going to be dating, but right now this is where we are. I went to her house and we just had some sushi, right? I just came from there.
Yeah.
And what I can tell
She's
you...
a 25-year-old?
No, she's not.
Oh, I was going to
She's
say.
older. No.
I'm just curious. Like, what's a 25-year-old's parents think, though?
I don't know because actually...
Does that ever happen?
Okay, let me go. Let me... Okay.
Didn't mean to rewind you, but I'm just curious.
No, this is important, right?
Yeah.
So the one that's the youngest, right? Her mom, who's close to her, right? Her mom.
Don't tell me you got a relationship with her, too.
Well, she FaceTimes mom and hello and.
Well, mom falling for you, too, though?
I don't know because I don't
Would you
talk
date
to her
them both?
enough.
Would
No
you date
way,
them
no
both?
way, not even close.
If mom was hot, you would date
not
mom?
even
Come
close,
on.
not even close. Once I get with a girl, like all her friends and everybody's off.
Okay.
It's a respect thing.
That's, I was going to say, that's honorable.
I must have respect that these girls are staying with me.
Well, I
They
didn't
don't want
know.
to be
You
with the
said, hey,
non.
you got multiple girls, so I,
I do.
didn't know.
Very respectfully, I do.
know?
Do you know?
But
do
you got
you
to
know?
respect mom, too, if she really falls in love with you.
Yeah, but I won't. She won't. She will, but she won't. I'll get her to my uncles or something.
Yeah.
But if we start from the beginning, let's say what I could say is that this person that I know who's a female, I like her. I know she likes me. It starts here.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Now it's not a matter of, let's follow this Hollywood story. Let's just go to the next moment of liking each other. That could be on the text, on the phone call, or in person. And these moments will develop and they stack on top of each other. And we get comfortable around each other. If we're attracted and we get comfortable around each other, right? Natural progression of life would be that a man and a woman that are comfortable around each other, attracted to each other, sex comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And sex is that taboo subject.
Yeah.
Right? That's the one that fucks everything up. Okay? But it's
Why
a
is
natural
that?
process.
Why is that?
Well, I think that's the thing. We've been lied to so much about it. Think about how much we've been manipulated with sex from religions and parents and movies. Like that's the thing, And none of us have ever really, I'm not going to say none of us, but few of us have sat there and said, like, what's the truth of this? Like, where's the genetic code on this? What would it be like if I was in a different time, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Shit, I got ancestors that are 10,000 years old, right? Well, would they tell me you have multiple girlfriends? Or if I was a warrior in that tribe and you and I were there and I was able to hunt every day a bunch of boars and the other guy couldn't. and there's 4 women, right? And they could feed those, they could eat the boars with me, and it's our tribe. They have a choice to have sex with me, or have sex with that guy who gets a squirrel every day. If they chose to have sex with the squirrel guy because the preacher or their parents said, the parents wouldn't say it. In fact, their parents would be like, get with that guy because that baby has to eat.
You're going to take care of you. That's the gold digger.
Okay, we call it a gold digger.
Right? Isn't that what that is?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't believe it. I don't believe
have changed.
But I don't believe in
going
in
after
those
the
words.
money, going after the security, going after that.
So then would she be a cow digger back in time?
Using sex to get what she wants.
What would she be called if she wasn't called? If we didn't have the word gold digger and we were back in tribes and she went after the man who could hunt and bring food and protect her, right? Because he had resources.
Hunt digger.
A what?
She'd be a hunt digger.
Yeah. So it's just as long as it's natural, we could name it whatever the fuck we name it. You know what I mean? Example, racism, right? If I have not been around a black person, because I tried to travel the world as a child, right?
Sure.
I've never seen a black person, right? And then I see a tough black person. Should I not feel fear? If I don't, I'm not natural, because if we were in the jungle and I saw a tough-looking, beast-looking black guy walking out, I was like, oh, don't judge him. You better motherfucking judge him. You don't fucking know him. Now, what if I saw like a tiny little Indian guy who was just like so weak walking around, right? Would I be like, don't judge him? I'd be like, look at that little weak Indian guy walking around, right? Now we have the political correctness that we have, and it's preventing us from just being honest. Now, does that mean that when you say all black, now you're stupid?
Yeah, but the truth is the little Indian guy that you're just referencing, could take you out before the big beastie black guy. You know what I'm saying?
He would have to have a weapon at that point.
Know? Well, possibly.
But I'm in the jungle. I'm in the jungle. I'm back in time.
Yeah.
I'm primal. I'm with my hands and feet. I see a little Indian guy walking around, and I'm me, and that's him. I'm going to take him. He has weapons. I have weapons too. It's going to be a physical. He's not going to shoot me. He's not going to call the cops. That guy should not be walking around the jungle.
So you're going to pick on the little guy.
That would be the law of nature.
Yeah.
Now, not if he was my friend, not if he was my tribesman. But if he wasn't my tribesman, who would he be? Why is he walking here? Why is that guy walking here? Now, take that mentality and let's live in apartments and neighborhoods and not know each other. Our primal code is being activated when we see each other. When we're in the clubs or whatever. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. And it's not comfortable to be that close to each other. You go to prison, you'll know that too. The distance is so important because no animal in the jungle who's healthy will get that close to another animal it doesn't know, especially when the potential of, look, if you and I get killed, it's going to be another man. Most likely. Yeah. It's not going to be a bear or a tiger.
Right.
So we're literally walking past our own murderers every day. Yeah. If you have a podcast, if you look like me, have some message, now you're a bigger target and a bigger target and a bigger target and a bigger target, right?
Right.
And that also demonstrates in the jungle survival value. It's a fitness test. It's like to look like me and act like me and be around, I must be able to handle some sort of backlash from society. So if I'm able to handle that backlash and still be successful in society's terms, there must be something about me. That's called the peacock theory. The peacock's feathers are only and simply for mating. In fact, they make him so heavy that he could barely fly with those big old things. It's only to impress the girl. Now check this out. If I'm a peahen and I see the peacock and his feathers are a little bit small, whatever, he's lighter. But when I see that guy with the big old feathers, he's saying 2 things. 1, he's saying, I eat so good. Look how healthy I am. 2, he says, no tiger could get me either, right? I have enough survival where I can now demonstrate beauty. Now, let me show you how this relates to our society. A rapper, you look at the guy, take off his chains. I mean, that's general. There's some rappers are like, but you know, the average weak-looking rapper that everybody knows, it's like, what is that guy, right? Mm-hmm. Super weak-looking, could barely speak, but I got these grills, he's got $500,000 grills, right? Mine's like $600 or something, right? You got those chains, he's got 250. Okay, what he's demonstrating to the female is that not only can he eat and have people that follow him, he has enough resources to go get a chain with it, right? Mm-hmm. So she is going to be genetically attracted to that part of him, but that's no more than him showing his peacock feathers, right? Those things make him a target when he's out. People snatch their chain, get shot for it or whatever, right? Yeah. And so when you get down to the basic of this male-female dynamic, she's looking for a man who demonstrates he could survive really well in the jungle. And he's looking for a female that he could have a child with that would be able to be the type of woman he wants to have a child with. He doesn't want a loudmouth, right? He doesn't want to come back and he's like, where's my son? Oh, well, he's wearing a skirt right now. Why? He was exploring his femininity. What'd you say, bitch? That's my baby. That's my son.
What would you do? What would you do? You became, come on, you, Mr.
If I came
Martial
home
Arts,
and what
MMA,
happened?
black belt.
Yeah,
You know,
what
what would you do? What would you do?
What's the scenario?
You got a son. You got a son. Let's say he's 14. He's a teenager. He's a teenager.
If I missed all the signals by then, I deserve that shit, bro.
God.
If my son at 14 is putting on the skirt, I failed at 1 through 5.
You don't love him anyways?
Am I gonna love him? Love to me is not. It doesn't have that kind of condition on it.
What does love mean to you? Give me the definition of love to you.
I can only say what I've experienced. Like, let's say it's different kinds. From my mother and father.
Yeah.
Could I ever use the words, I don't love them? I can't imagine. If my mother and father killed a bunch of people and ate them and then fucking sold their body, they did everything I'm against, right? I still would not love them. I might not talk to them. I might, tell them whatever I need to tell them, but I don't have a choice when it comes to that. To me, love is that thing that when I think about someone, even if I think about them betraying me to the very end, that's how it is with the girlfriends that I know I'm in love with. It's like, okay, I could not love her, but I can't be with her anymore because the betrayal is not right. But if you ask me if I love her, absolutely. The love, maybe even more because now it's love from a distance, so it's only memories and shit like that, right?
So have you ever loved a girl where you felt, totally connected? You go out, you meet another girl, and then you decided in the process, she comes home with you. You guys are going to, be together, and you decide, I can't do it. Have you ever been in that situation? I can't be with this new girl.
Yeah, it's happened a few times since I got in Vegas, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, what happened when I got in Vegas, I was so excited about kind of just demonstrating my skills because nobody knew me here. So I went out attracting a bunch of women, right? And then the thing is with me, well, I don't know if I'm like that anymore. I've changed, but the way I was is, let's say the interaction is going really good, and of course the woman starts getting affected, and suddenly, it happened 3 times. The woman fell in love, and suddenly I'm like, oh shit. So what do? I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play. It's like having a child suddenly. Like, fuck it. I gotta be a dad now, right? So I became the boyfriend. Now what's interesting is none of those relationships really lasted, right? None of them lasted. So I just went through with it. We became boyfriend, girlfriend. I started a relationship. I treated them the best that I could. Now when I say the best that I could is that it's different when you genuinely are feeling something that you're not. But I didn't want that to be the case because I had fucking, in my world, in my opinion, I had made that happen. So now I can't just turn my back because there's some kind of a personal ethics involved with this shit, right? You won't let yourself have any more power than you can trust yourself with. I've noticed that. If you're a good person. I think that's one of the difference between good and bad people in my head, is that good people, they have some kind of cap they put on themselves when it starts to affect the environment more than what they think they should be able to. So if I'm now having, I'm a great hypnotist. I'm very, very good at hypnotizing people. Oh yeah, one of the best.
You hypnotize your girls?
Never. One time because one of my girlfriends has seizures.
Okay.
Yeah, and really bad throughout the night. And then she was begging me to hypnotize her. And I said to her, remember this one, because when you hypnotize somebody, you install some of you inside of them. It's not, I don't think it's a healthy thing at all, okay? But I learned it because I was so fascinated by it, right? But I never hypnotized them. And, I hypnotized people in the street lightly just to see what I could do. But it was the philosophy and the mechanics of it that I was interested in, right? So then I use the language of hypnosis. Hypnosis puts people to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
That's hypnosis puts people to sleep. Same language could wake people up.
All right.
So I use it to wake people up, right? So, I hypnotized her one time. But what I was saying about hypnosis is I'm a great hypnotist, but my own personal ethics won't allow me to hypnotize people, even for a party trick. Like, no, dude. And you'd be like, well, why not? Because I know it harms people, and I'm not that guy right now. You know what I mean? So there's ethics involved in this thing. And I do believe if I wasn't as ethical as I am, there's absolutely no way 2 women would ever stay with me. There's no way. Because I have to be clean, bro. You think the FBI can research and the CIA can research you should have a girlfriend, bro?
Do you have both girls there together ever?
3 of the girlfriends live together.
Oh, they live together. And they all know that you're their boyfriend.
Well, how would they not know that? They all live together and they come over.
Okay, so I'm just saying they're all together.
Yeah.
You don't find that weird? I find it fascinating.
I find so the different word, weird or fascinating.
Right. Well, I find it fascinating, but most people would say that's kind of weird. Got 3 girls living in.
Okay, so now let's take another guy that you know. Just a real person that you know.
It's because of what society says.
But take a real person you know, the cameraman.
Sure.
Right? And he hears about that. would he?
You'd be his hero. You would be his fucking
I'm
hero.
trying to tell you, would he, in his private moment, nobody around, would he say, that's weird, or damn, that's cool, fascinating, amazing, incredible?
Good for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's not weird because the majority, if not all men, would actually admire it. Weird. I don't want something weird. You know what I mean? No, that's weird. Is it fascinating? Is it amazing? Is it
no? I guess when
magic?
when I use the word weird, it's coming from the girl's aspect.
Okay, so now let's get into that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's coming from their aspect. You know.
So I can tell you this now,
because I know my girl doesn't want to share me with nobody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm not going to share you.
I get it. I've been told that many times.
I have to cut you loose.
I've never, not once, gotten with a girlfriend, and I've had multiple girlfriends for a long time. I've never, not just so you know, not once have I ever gotten with a woman who did not say these words to me. I would never be with a guy who already has a girlfriend. I've heard it from every girlfriend who's there right now, every single one of them. This is something they have to say. They even mean it probably when they say it. Mm-hmm. But once again, gravity is gravity, and you can't deny it, bro. And this is a natural law of life. Again, I'm demonstrating it. But see, I'm just unique in our time. If we go back in time, men, let's just go less and less city and more tribal. At some point, it's very normal for a chief, a leader of a tribe to have more than one woman. It doesn't even make sense for him to have one woman. He's the goddamn fucking chief. He wants to spread his fucking seeds, and he could kill everybody. Like all kings, all emperors had a lot of queens and women. It's just the difference is maybe because of their, I don't know why, but we're not there, right? And right now, every man that I talk to wants that. Some men don't. But again, let's not judge it until we do it. Let's not say, I don't want any money because money is the root of evil until you make some fucking money. Then give it up and say it, right?
Right.
So first get a beautiful woman, then get a second beautiful woman and have a very good relationship with both of them and have them have a good relationship with each other. Then tell me that you would rather have one.
But the women don't fight each other?
Not at all.
You know, they're not like cat fights, you know, like, you know, he's mine tonight, you know, they don't get envious of each other.
But I'm nobody's. That's the difference.
Well, yeah, because you made that clear. Because
I'm
nobody
the man.
is.
I'm the man.
But nobody is. I mean, nobody's owned.
Okay,
even
so
when
now,
you're married, you're not owned.
Well,
let's be honest.
Ultimately, you're not, right?
No,
ultimately,
you're
it's a choice. However, there's the basic truth of that, right? Which is like, let's say you and I are spiritual beings and consciousness, but we're here. We can't just stay on that if we're going to talk. So the truth of it is, no one owns anybody. But in the game of mating, especially for Homo sapiens, right? The woman wants to belong to a man. And we know that because she would before take on his last name. She would leave her entire family and travel across the world with him and trust him in an island.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
You know why?
Absolutely.
She would say, I'm his. And he would say, that's my woman. Come with me. Now, the women today are miserable because that relationship is missing now. Now, you can't even say that's my woman. You can, right? But you're the judgment on saying that's my woman. I take pride saying that's my woman. And you know, sometimes I say that. And another girl, there's always going to be somebody testing you in the field. We call it in field outside, right? And so a woman will say something like, your woman, like try to correct me. And I say, yeah, my woman. And that's when I like to say, hey, so come over here, right? This is so-and-so, this is my woman. And then of course, yeah, and then the girl sees our relationship. And you could see the envy and the admiration at the same time in her face, right? She questions it because her soul actually wants a man to say, this is my woman. I'm protecting her. I'm guiding her. And I'm making sure she's going to have a good future. Don't fuck with her. And I'm strong enough to defend against that. That's important.
Hi, I'm Phil Benamino, CEO and founder of Cost Plus Processing, the company that provides financial services to your business. We provide things such as POS systems, ATM machines, and check services. One of the biggest things that we strive ourselves here at Cost Plus Processing is our customer service. We are an A+ rated with the BBB with customer service, and we're proud to say we're here in the United States with all of our customer service agents. Our objective is to actually teach you and educate you about the costs that you're currently paying and show you ways where you can eliminate those costs that you no longer have to pay. One of the biggest programs that are out there today is our dual pricing program, where you actually can offer your customers now a choice of how they want to pay. Do they want to pay with cash or do they want to pay with card? And if they pay with card, it actually helps you to absorb the card fees, so you no longer have to pay the fees like you've done for many, many years. Cost Plus Processing aligns ourselves with some of the top POS companies out there in the industry today. For example, we have perfected the car dealership industry, and our dedicated team are equipped to manage a variety of online payment forms and financing options that merchants require in this advanced ecosystem of payments. If you have a restaurant, we are proud to be able to manage the ongoing difficulties that arise from this fast-paced industry, and you're looking for pay at the table, where customers can easily swipe their cards, tap their cards, and make their payments with tip, and also have a choice of how they want to pay, we have the solutions for you here at Cost Plus. We want to help other small business owners make their dreams come true by providing the best financial support. From barbershops to liquor stores, having the ability to take payments scheduled online and make calculating tip sharing an easy task only helps business owners put more attention and money into what really matters the most. Also, Cost Plus Processing is on the front end of AI. We can also provide you kiosks for your business, so customers can walk over to the kiosk and order anything that they want. Likewise, if you're having problem getting employees in the kitchen to work, we can also provide you robots that will actually deliver your food straight to the customer. I want to thank you for the time that you took to learn a little bit about Cost Plus Processing, and most importantly, why we are the future of merchant processing.
Now, if you're a man who doesn't have a real tribe, and today's world is very rare, right? Then you have to understand you're delusional on that aspect, because a group of chimpanzees can always overcome one chimpanzee. It doesn't matter how tough you are, bro. Okay? And again, you see that in prison. It doesn't matter how tough you are. Mike Tyson get his ass kicked with 4 or 5 guys on him, right?
Sure.
So it's important. Everybody's living these delusional relationships, and they're kept together through these fake lies and not really testing their relationships. Example, my phone, when my girlfriends are around, if I'm with any girlfriend, my phone is being used by them to whatever. You know what I mean? And texts sometimes come through from other girls. The last relationship that I was with and we broke up, that's the reason we broke up. It started with, I would never be with a guy who's with multiple girls. Started like that. And then we're together. Okay. Then it comes up again. I'm having a really hard time and I think we should cool it off. I said, all right, let's cool it off. Cool it off for half a day, right? Come back even stronger. Come back stronger.
They're fighting.
Then we're together. No, it's just her and I. Like
Right.
she's having a problem. Then she has my phone and another girlfriend texts. She reacts negatively to it. I'm like, what's the deal? Like, nothing is hidden here. You know what's going on. Well, I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. Goes forward. The reason we're not together is that she couldn't take it. So it's not everybody accepts it, right? But again, she tried it. It didn't work for her. And if you ask me, is she going to forget about me? Hell no.
You miss her?
A lot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I loved her so much. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what made me grow so much. You know what I mean? Because
So, you talked about that. Let's talk about really growth, because you said you changed a lot.
a lot. Mhm.
So what are you referencing to when you say you've changed a lot?
I had weaknesses in me in my character flaws.
Such
right?
as?
Such as, let's see. And I'm
You're
now
a guy that holds yourself really high. Like you do.
course.
You got lots of confidence. You
Oh, yeah.
walk with pride.
honestly, I've never
So-
seen anybody more confident than me when it
Yeah.
comes to life. Like,
Yeah.
I mean that in my own, truly, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah.
Is that guy, right? The former me was already evolved so high when it came to what I did, right? And but there was a weakness there. There was a weakness there. Let's take a jiu-jitsu analogy, right? Let's just say my jiu-jitsu is almost perfect, but I know something no one knows. I know for some fucking reason, like the movie Unbreakable, if you get me in a side control, I'll panic. But so I make sure I never get in side control, and I'm good enough to never get in side control. Then one day, you and I are the greatest fucking training partners. We've shared secrets. We're taking over the world. And you say, let's get in side control. I've never tested you there. And I'm like, of course, bro, no problem. We go there. Sonny starts smashing me. And I'm like, okay, well, back the fuck up for a second, right? And then next thing you know, you're choking me and I'm tapping and you're not letting go. And then I bite you and I get out. Okay, you and I can no longer train. There's the relationship. It's over now. But it
You
doesn't.
consider that a weakness?
What's that?
You consider that a weakness?
Because I knew the side control was a weakness and I never handled it.
Right, but you understood it.
But see, I avoided it.
You avoided it. You didn't know how to attack it. And when it's being attacked, what do you have to do to get out of it?
Right. So after this happened, I went back. I went into the mountains, you could say. And I took bears and tigers and lions and I laid in side control with them. And I said, I'm either going to die or I'm going to come back differently and there's going to be no more weakness. And so when I saw this weakness in me, I took about probably 7 days, but I worked diligently, like throughout the night. I mean, I was heartbroken. I was fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't show it. Nobody really knew about it. But that's part of it. That's part of being a man. You know, and you don't go crying fucking shoulders. You don't show everything's the same and let's go. Next day, let's go. Every day, let's go. But the effort it took to do that, it's like the day where you really want to go to the gym and the days you just don't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to go to my life those days like that. You know what I mean? And because everything didn't have the same flavor anymore, right? And that was part of the weakness. Part of the weakness was somewhere in the relationship, I had forgotten the basic code of life that, and this is very deep for whoever's watching, okay? But this, I'm saying this knowing that somebody out there watching this is gonna change their life. So listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. This shit is earned in blood. That no matter what, the woman's sweetness and affection and care, ready, softens and weakens the man. And I did not want to ever face that, but I knew that. So I don't live with my girlfriends for that reason, because I had measured the difference when I sleep with a girl the next morning, what it takes to get going and all that, right? And so I chose the stoic life, and that's part of the movement. So I'd braced against this thing enough, but it seeped in, let it seep in, and her sweetness and femininity softened me slightly. And that softness was enough for the relationship to not work anymore, and for me to feel the loss and really feel it for the first time, and not dodge it, because I could have dodged it. I could have even fixed it probably, but that was the thing. I was just going to go through it this time. And so I came back changed, and I feel, if I watch the last podcast, I actually watch that sometimes. It's one of my favorite podcasts.
Yeah,
it's
good,
so good, right? It's so good, man. Thank you for that. So,
until this one.
But that's the thing, right? Because now, as I'm playing it in my head right now, I was at my best during that time, and that was my best. And I remember driving here. That was the first podcast I'd ever really. I told them, all the guys, I said, "This, I'm going to let everyone know on this one, right?" And I'd always held back up until your podcast.
Yeah.
But now when I look back, even though that was my full power, it's like, man, that guy, poor guy. I feel sorry for that guy right now that I was. Yeah. And I was so powerful. And then
But see, that's great. That just shows your growth.
That's what I'm saying. And I look at the future and go, am I going to say that about this guy?
Yes,
Probably.
you are. Yes,
Probably.
Of course. You should.
That's crazy.
If not, then you're not getting any better. You're not growing. You're not
don't
evolving.
know where I would go next.
You got to evolve, baby. That's what it's about.
Shit.
Every day you have to evolve. That's what life is all about. That's what all the struggles are. That's what all the challenges are. It's about being better. When you stop being better and you're okay and you're content, I don't think God's got any reason for you to be down here. That's my whole point.
I agree with you.
This is the way I believe. This is the way I
agree with you, because you see it in nature.
Yeah.
Everything's growing.
Right.
And when it stops growing, it starts decaying and dying.
It's a new season, right? It's
That's
all new seasons. And then what happens? There's a change. Once there's a change, then all of a sudden things start growing again.
And see, we have a problem with change. We try to hold things the same, especially when they're good.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, right?
You know, it's funny you say that, because I hold on to this myself. I'm guilty of this, where I hold on, and if it's a relationship or whatever, I hold on to the good times instead of holding on to the bad times.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
How does that work for you?
And it doesn't work good, because it wears on my heart, right? You know, and of course it makes you weaker when that happens.
Do you feel that it makes you weaker?
Oh, absolutely. I do.
Yep.
I do in my soul.
Yep.
You know, and realistically. And
Yep.
I've gone through a couple sessions and stuff. Actually, I did one with Jessica and so forth, where, you know, I learned a lot about, hey, why are you focusing on, like you're putting the stress on yourself. Why are you focusing on all the good times? What about focusing on the bad times? Think about all the bad times you had.
Yeah.
Think about all the things that
Like
you
there's
did.
a reason it didn't work out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It worked out for that season. It got you through those years, whatever it is. But it's time to let go, and you need to move on.
I
And
like
for
that,
some
because
reason,
it balances
I have a hard
out the
time with
energy.
that. Yes.
And that's the secret. It's the yin and yang. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was going one direction so much that I lost. See, that's the thing. I knew the weakness was there, you know, and I just was.
not want to face it.
There's no way that I could have.
You don't want to say I'm weak. I'm weak.
No, I do want to say I was weak. I'm not weak anymore, but I was, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt, I was weak.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, okay, if you're watching a movie and the guy's got to go and live in the Amazon for 40 days and he makes it out at the end, no problem. And you know that. He's in bad shape. He makes it out, and 2 months later, he's in great shape and he's got a perfect life. Ready? And God or Genie comes to you and says, all right, that's your story. Here's at the end, you're about to have everything you've ever wanted, but you're going to have to go on the Amazon. And I'm going to tell you, you are going to survive. You're not going to die. You're not going to be in good shape, but you're going to survive. Okay? Are you willing to do it? A lot of people might say yes, and they arrive and they're ready to go. I think day 7 or 8 in the Amazon, you might go, I don't know if I want this anymore, right?
Right.
Day 30, you're not thinking about your fucking goal anymore.
Survival.
Right? So that's what I knew about my weakness.
Right.
I knew if I went through it, I would be exactly what I've always envisioned myself to be. Literally, I'm sitting as the person I envisioned myself to be, which is one of the greatest feelings.
Yeah.
But I also knew that it's one thing to think about, it's another thing to live in the fucking Amazon. I wasn't willing to go through that because it would just been too much for everything I'm doing. I'd have to literally pack everything, go to the Amazon, and give everything up. That's what it felt like. Then suddenly, I'm taking a fucking beautiful cruise to the Amazon, and everything's beautiful in the sky. And I look around, the boats are gone. And I got no choice now. Now I'm there for 40 days.
Where's David Goggins? Who's carrying the boats?
So instead of looking for the scapegoat, literally scapegoat in this case, I said, "Oh, I'm in the Amazon, and I always knew I might be here. Now is the time to find out if I know how to survive here, and I'm not going to look for the boat." Mm-hmm. So I started surviving. 6, 7, maybe 8.
Dude, you know what I think you should do?
Huh?
We need to get you on reality TV. You need to go on, Naked and Afraid. Could you do that? Would you do that?
Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
You get naked, you go on the island, you
Why
have
would
to
I want
live.
to do that?
Because you have to survive.
But
It's
I'm
all
not-
about the
I'm not good
survival
at that.
skill.
I'm good
You
at
keep
surviving.
talking about the Amazon. You keep talking about the lions and you get a partner. It's a female partner too, so it could work out.
Now that's enticing.
Yeah, exactly. You've never
They
seen
have
that?
to give me her measurements before I go. I don't want no people.
Well, either way,
I
you're
get too
going
big with
to
it.
deal with all kinds of craziness on that.
No,
But-
I'm not good at that.
But what about Survivor? How about Survivor then?
I'm not good at that.
You know,
You want to put me
I
in a
think you
show where I'm in
are.
the city. I'm a city
Survivor.
slicker.
You outwit, you outlast. You gotta,
But I'm not good at that.
Why do you say you're not good at that?
Well, I haven't done it.
First of all, you shouldn't say you're not good at anything. Okay.
What if I'm not good at it?
Especially
What if I'm
when
not
we
good at
visited
swimming?
the guy.
Hey, what if I'm not good at swimming?
Fucking swim. Start fucking taking
But
lessons.
what if I'm not good at it? In that moment, should I say I'm good
Start
at it?
taking lessons. You got to get better. You have to
But the
practice.
moment you ask me, I just want to
You
know,
know.
should I be like, I'm great at swimming, but I'm not going? Or should I say I'm not good
you
at
say I'll do it, but I have to learn how to swim.
it? Hey, listen to this, Smitty. I'll be good at
Do you
surviving.
really not know how
I'll
to
be
swim?
good at survival one day.
How to
but I'm
swim?
not.
Do you really not know how to swim?
Oh, I'm okay at swimming.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the idea of you can't say something that you're not good at it. I'm just telling you I'm not good at it. But there's another, we call it, we were just talking about this morning. We call where we live the concrete
I
jungle.
don't believe I don't like saying I'm not good at something. I just say I need more practice.
Yeah.
I need more practice.
That's a good way to say it.
I just you just don't want to beat yourself. Like
Yeah.
we beat ourselves up all the time.
Oh, I became a sadistic.
You know what I'm
and
saying? And it's
masochistic.
horrible
Is
for
it
our souls. It's
masochistic?
horrible for our energy. I realize that. You know what I'm saying?
man.
Like we just want to beat ourselves up over it. You know, I'm
You're a
not good at this
Jedi.
one.
That's why you're a Jedi.
I'm a warrior, baby.
Hey,
I'm
listen.
a warrior.
I was a Jedi.
I'm a lion. I'm a warrior.
Okay. I see both of those things.
Yeah.
I was a Jedi, and then something happened, right? And I went and I sought out the Sith, and I want to know if they had an answer to my fucking Jedi problem,
Yeah.
right? And they said they did, and so I took on their answer, and it solved my Jedi problem. Now, I'm not Sith or Jedi. I just know there's a Force. You know what I mean? I don't belong to any of those fucking orders, and that's you know what's so fascinating. You know, IMC Nation is my movement. You know how big it was, and hey, this is as a emphasis on my speech to say this, but I swear on everything. I swear on God, my parents, everything, right? I disbanded the whole organization. Took all the ranks out.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
In one moment,
When did
one
this
day.
happen?
Oh, maybe like 3 weeks ago.
So recently. This just happened.
We're now rebuilding.
Okay.
So we had all these bases, we disband them. We're starting base 1 again. I also moved out. Everything changed into one moment. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Rebuild.
that's what made this movement so powerful.
It's the year of the
It's
snake. buddy.
organic, bro.
It's the year of the snake.
Which means what?
means the snake sheds its skin
Oh, we shed.
and you're starting anew.
It got so tight.
know what I mean?
We started rubbing against the rock and bleeding.
Yeah.
But we're going to be smooth when we come out.
There you go.
Here we are, because already the organization is building again, right? I mean, we had a lot of ranks and things like that. And, you know, I took everyone's ranks away and everyone's titles away. And you know, it was, and I told them, we're going to do this again if you want to stick around. And I'm going to do it with a different energy, this time without my weakness. I created all that with a fucking weakness. It's done. That guy's dead.
Things you need to practice at. There's no such thing as weakness. Don't call yourself weak.
No, it was my weakness. I said,
it wasn't weakness. Things you need to practice at.
You know, if you and I were playing chess, I would suddenly go like this. Fuck, I suck at this move. And it would piss you off.
I would say, no, you don't.
I'd fuck with you. And I'd be like, I always fuck up right here.
Speaking of chess, you know what the most powerful piece is, correct?
The most powerful piece I know is the queen, but it depends who's playing.
No.
Who's playing?
That's where you're wrong. You see, the king is the most powerful piece. The queen can be captured and she can be replaced.
True.
In fact, a pawn, you could turn a pawn into another queen. Right?
That's true.
So the queen's
I've turned many whores into housewives.
There you have it. But the king, there's only one.
Yeah.
There's only one king.
That's true.
That's a reality, man. And that's a great game. And I'm glad you brought it up so I could use that analogy.
It's the analogy of life. You know what's so funny? I actually watched a whole YouTube video on what you just said.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was one of those. I watch a lot of chess stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one of them said that as you started explaining, I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard that before. That's true, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, to me, I say the queen is the most powerful piece. I guess it depends
because she can go anywhere she wants on the board.
Let me tell you why. Because
but she can be captured.
Again, it depends. Depends who's playing, right? Did you ask me what was the most powerful or the most important piece?
Most powerful.
Okay. So the most important piece to me would be the king because checkmate ends the game. Mm-hmm. Every piece can die except the king, right? Mm-hmm. But to me, the most powerful one is the queen because everyone knows how she can move and do all that, right? And I don't just see that a pawn becomes a queen. I see that a pawn can become anything and it normally chooses to be a queen, right? That the queen holds the highest position next to the king. And here's what's interesting. If he knows how to use her.
God, you just got me into thinking of something.
Yeah.
You could have more than one queen. You know, you could have multiple.
That was
queens.
A good one. That was a good one.
You got me on that one.
And you got to be really good at playing that game. To do that, right?
Yeah.
You got to get this pawn all the way protected to the other side.
You can have multiple pawns, multiple queens,
and that's what it takes when I meet a girl.
Yeah,
right. I'm gonna meet other girls again. It's gonna, that's just what I do. And so I have to take them across the chessboard without someone take them away. Once they get to the other side, now it's like, do you want to be a queen or not? Now, here's the thing. Not everybody becomes my girlfriend. But I do have some, I'm in Vegas now, right? I have some really great girls that are friends. Now, when I say that, here's the thing. I've been intimate with them. I can't call a girl a friend if we haven't been intimate, because if she's pretty, then I had that in the back of my mind, and she doesn't know that, right? But if and what I mean intimate, we don't have to have sex. Well, we made out or whatever. We were intimate. We had intimacy, but we didn't maybe become in a relationship further, right? And so one of the reasons why I really like go out in Vegas, right? Because through being here for a year, I've met so many beautiful women, and maybe they didn't become my queen, but they became part of the chessboard that when I show up, their movement in the environment. For example, let's say you and I go to a nice strip club here, right? There's going to be certain women there that are my friends, whether they work there or they're dancers or bottle service. And you'll notice that they're actually aiding me. They're helping me in acquiring women in the way they treat me with respect, and they flirt and we're close and the comfort they show, right? And they were strangers. And those strangers, when you play chess, you move it. So they didn't become queens, but they also hold position, right? We could talk chess all day. If you get me going, I'll go into it.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Though. Have you ever taken a girl home that you felt was beautiful?
Yeah.
And then you realized when it all came down to getting under the sheets, it wasn't a girl?
No.
Anything ever happened to you?
No, never.
Oh, thank God for that.
No.
Knock on wood for that one. I'm just curious if that happened.
One time we were somewhere.
I mean,
one time we were somewhere.
Oh, you were somewhere. Okay, so
yeah, and I was with a bunch of guys, and we saw a really pretty girl, and she was dancing, and I remember thinking, wow, she's really feminine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. It didn't go very far, and then I found out she was a guy. I couldn't believe it. So then I went back and I looked, and she was definitely a guy. Now that I knew, I could see that. But what's so interesting, right, is because as a guy, she has to study how to be feminine. So she was more feminine than all the girls, where the girls became sloppy in their motions and movements. She couldn't become sloppy because you could see the guy in her. And I saw something really fascinating.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because the person who's naturally doing it a lot of times doesn't have all the information. That's why I became a good teacher. Right. I was outcasted. I was rejected. I didn't even know how to fucking talk to people.
Right.
So the overcoming of that, I had to watch people that could do it. I had to watch people that could, things that I like, characteristics that I like, right? And I had to study it and embody it. And embodying it was not natural. It was very unnatural, actually, right? Then I get to a point and I realize if this is going to be a continuous unnatural process, something else in me is actually beginning to die, my natural self. I realized that all it was is I was just imitating a natural process that's in us. For example, brother, okay, I don't know if you know this, but there was a battle a long time ago before you had a name. And there was thousands and thousands of warriors. And there was a castle. And it was unbreakable, unsiegeable. And 1,000, 10,000, 10 billion, I don't know how many, but many of them died. One warrior breached the castle door, went there, grabbed the queen, and sat on the throne. And that's you as a sperm. That's who made it.
Right.
That's who made it. So I'm talking to a winner.
Right.
Hey, nice to meet you. You too, bro. Bro, it was hard. All my homies died.
That's right. That's right.
It was a flood. I mean, some of them were 2 weeks to make it.
Yeah.
Some of them just hit the fucking wall and then they got fucking
So
killed.
listen, are you going to reproduce? Are you going to have some children or what, man? They're
Not
gonna
on,
be little AZDs running around.
Not on purpose.
Come on, man.
Not on purpose.
Come on, you got to keep that name going.
But
You
why?
know,
What's to a name?
You know, it's your legacy.
The name?
It's keeping the spirit on.
Is
well,
the
I know
name.
you got your whole nation doing that.
Yeah,
Tell
but-
me about that real quick
yeah.
before we close. I want to get into that.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do? What do guys do? Guys are having a hard time picking up girls. Guys are having a hard time dealing, not feeling like they're going to be alone their whole lives.
Yeah.
You give them inspiration. You show them that, hey, anybody can.
And technique. I give technique too.
Technique is the key. Yes, you do. Technique, but more so, I think inspiration first, which allows you to teach them the technique. Okay, because
Well, I
they're
hope
sitting
the
there
guy's
saying,
inspired when he comes to me.
well, that's my point. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
But, you know, how can they get a hold of you now? How can they find you? What would they do? You have any classes? You're doing courses? I know you do these free live shows.
I teach every day.
You know?
So one thing I did is I took a very expensive class I had and I brought the price down to $47 a month. Now check this out. It's $47 a month. I teach 7 days a week, 3 hours minimum. Every day,
There you
right?
go.
Sometimes 4 hours, like today or the other day was 4 hours. So anybody, it's a class for just men. You go online. We go 10 a.m. Pacific
What about
Standard
if a
Time.
woman wants to be a man?
No.
Okay. But
Well,
I'm just saying,
I'm not the
they're
teacher
going to
for
pay.
that.
They're going to pay.
No, I don't care
They're
about
going
the
to
money.
pay.
No.
But they want to learn the same traits that the men.
Yeah, but it's not for them. It's like saying a zebra wants to be a lion. It's like, no, she's a man wanting to be a woman wanting to be a man.
It's a misfit.
She should take
There's a
classes from
misfit.
somebody else. Yeah, but not in my group, right? And that's the thing. It's so important to belong to a tribe that you respect. You respect the elders. Like that's why I'm building now. As I'm building IMC again, I've already ranked three guys.
Going with the same name.
Yeah,
You ain't
of
gonna
course.
change
The name
it?
will never change.
No.
Well, I'm not gonna say never, but I don't see it changing.
Okay.
Because you know what? It's so interesting. Once it
Well, you got a
happened,
brand. You got a brand that you built.
well, it has like its own spirit, man.
Yeah.
Something's to this shit.
Yeah, but you're changing the spirit now. You even said so
It's
yourself.
just, I believe the spirit's changing me. I don't know, bro. That's where my
That's where the
awareness
energy is different.
stops.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening,
Okay.
but something is happening. It's bigger than me, but it's me and it. And if I stay connected, we're aligned, and everything works out for me.
That's fair.
And I break this. If I break this bond, this by example, by performing certain unethical actions, it breaks the bond. Whatever it is, this movement is a very ethical movement. It's unbelievable, bro. Like I'm telling you, it's incredible because I see it every day. We're seeing it now since my new transition, my new change. I'm a way better teacher.
Yeah.
My compassion is different. I've always had compassion to a certain level, but I don't think it was real.
Yeah.
Now looking back, because now what I feel is like I just see why a person acts like that, and I can get deeper into it and go, all it is just wrong programming, man. Because that's how I overcame my shit. We just got wrong programming. We're thinking with the wrong ideas.
It's like a computer, right?
It's literally that.
Yeah.
It's literally a
Yeah.
programming,
That's
and
what
the
your brain
language, our language, like you said, don't say that. That's a language.
Yeah.
Right? I just have an antivirus in my system that I could say anything. I could say I'm a piece of shit. One of the best ways.
Stop.
What's that?
Stop. Stop.
That's so great, bro. We gotta play chess, play basketball, and be like, "Fuck, bro." I'm just
Stop.
like, I'm getting old, and
Stop.
That's so funny.
Just stop.
That's great. So, anyways, you can find me under the Instagram, which they haven't deleted me in a long time. So let's see if I can keep it going. Okay, although I'm getting ballsier again. At 408, that's the number 408 AZD. That's my name, Arash Zepar Dibazar. IMC. That's the nation.
We'll throw
okay?
that link up. We'll
And
throw
then
that link
if by chance that changes, you can always search
$47.
hash. That's for the basic class.
Right, $47.
Just show up
Why
and see what it's
47?
like.
Why not 49?
Because I studied that the number 7 gets people better, like $17, 47, 27 is better than 30, better than 20. Just one marketing fucking idea.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Huh? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I like
always
7.
try to get
I'll pay
end with a
7 then. You take, why not 7 instead of 47?
I don't know.
Why not 97?
Oh, I see. Well, it was 97. There was 147. Now it's 47, right?
No.
It changes, fluctuates. And then if at any point I can't be gotten a hold of, then you go to the government. You ask
Are you gonna scream and yell at them? People
I
want to
do.
know. Are you gonna scream and yell at them all the time? You're gonna belittle them, make them feel bad.
I have.
So for money, they're gonna pay you to have you yell at them.
If it's right, I don't yell because I'm crazy. I would yell the same way my martial arts
Well, you
teacher
say you've
yelled at me.
changed, so I thought maybe you were gonna say, I before I yell, I take a deep breath and I think, and I give them what they deserve.
I see less reason to yell because yelling is not necessary, but I do speak with disdain in my voice. If I
Passion, baby.
it could be passion. But if I see, for example, because it's my team, it's my group.
Yeah.
Let's say you're a championship martial arts team, right? And you're going to travel the world, which is what we do. And you're going to go put your, like we're doing, here we are in Wam Bam, right? Yeah. I'm training the best. And so if your guy doesn't show up and everybody else is showing up to training, you can't just be like, well, you got to be like, what the fuck, bro?
Right.
And a soft coach ain't going to go nowhere, right? It's like Spartans were soft.
That's right.
Right? No.
That's right.
So I treat it as a Spartan would, as somebody who truly wants a team that he is proud of. Yeah. I'm going out tonight. I'm more and more excited because everyone's better and better. So I don't want to go out with a bunch of guys that don't know how to talk to people or get girls. I want to look. We have a rule. You should know.
Go ahead,
if you could steal my girl when we're out, go for it.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we're not nice to each other like that. And if I could take yours, I will. But now here's the thing.
There's no. Hey, that's mine.
Watch this, okay? Unless it's your girlfriend and someone you're with. Now that we don't even look at the girl out of respect, right? So let's say you're with your wife or girlfriend.
But if you got 50 girlfriends, that means there's 50 girls off limits.
But I don't have 50 girlfriends. That's too many, right? No, but other than that, if we're out and you're talking to a pretty girl and you don't know her and we don't know her, we're all out, it's in our code to try to take your girl. And today, like I was making fun of the guys, like, bro, how would it feel to be deflated and this and that? And I told him, one day you're going to go up to him and you're going to say, what goes around comes back around when you steal his girl.
That's right.
I said, until then, he stole your girl. But that's healthy competition. I grew up in jiu-jitsu like that.
Right.
We would bust each other's balls. And if someone sucked, we would tell them they suck. We wouldn't be like, you're okay, bro.
Stat about that. Friends that bust each other's balls are the most loyal people in the world.
They're real friends.
The most loyal people in the world.
Listen, last night I was at a strip club, right? And this girl that I know, we talked for a little bit.
Do you live in a strip club? Because you're always at a strip club.
I love strip clubs.
What do you love about the strip club? Besides the beautiful women that are naked.
I guess I love it because
giving you all the attention.
It originally started why I loved it is that was the one place where the dynamic of men approaching women changes to women approaching men.
Yeah, but do you have the same game on the streets of Las Vegas?
Different.
Can we walk the strip? Could you do the same thing on the strip?
I can do well. It's not the same thing because it's not the same place. It's like saying, can you hunt in the water and on the trees?
No, I'm saying if you can pick up a girl and you have the art of picking up a girl, you can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Agreed?
For sure.
We're going to put you to the test.
Just a different game.
I'm going to put you to the test. I'm going to bring you on the street,
No worries.
We're going to try that.
No worries. My pleasure.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it will be, actually.
Well, listen, we got to get going. Before we break up, tell the viewers anything else you want them to know before we go.
Don't say break up. Don't say break up.
That's right.
Say when we come back.
If you want to say anything to the viewers.
Yeah, I do want to say something, man. I want to say thank you for this. One of the things that's really happened to me is I really appreciate people that produce shit.
Yeah.
Like, it takes energy to do this.
Absolutely.
And I fucked up. I want everybody to know. Like, I just fucked up. This, whatever you're watching, was supposed to be way better. I was supposed to have a really pretty girl with me.
Stop. Stop. It was good. Stop.
This is the best thing that ever happened. And so anyways, first of all, thank you, right? And then anybody who's watching, I want to test something with you because I don't talk like this normally to the world, but I want to see what it would be like if I told you a different kind of truth about what's going on, right? I sit here as a person that on one level, I'm extremely ordinary, just like everybody else, On the other level, I sit here as a very extraordinary being, and I really am, and I know that. And I think that's fascinating because a part of me really gets how no matter what I do, no matter who I am, it's just a joke in the end. Like, it's just nobody gives a shit, bro, at all. And least of all myself. I don't take my life seriously at all anymore. But on the other hand, I see the condition that the world is in, and people are suffering, and I'm not. Yeah. And so the extraordinary part of me, if anything, is that I've found a way to maneuver through the world where the suffering is alchemizes into gold. And I know how to do it, and it's called IMC Nation. We do it every day, and it's not just me. I just happen to be the best hunter, but I'm surrounded by some great hunters. If you come out, these guys kill it. You know, I got to tell you, since we came here, 5 of our guys have gotten girlfriends that are very pretty exotic dancers here.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to go to a strip club and get a girlfriend. That's like not even heard of. In fact, nobody even believed us in the beginning, right? Outside of myself, 5 other guys have girlfriends, and I think that's incredible because every 5, including myself, we have one thing in common. Y'all ready? We're the outcasts. We're the outsiders. We're the black sheep. We're the ones that were thrown away. All right? So that's what IMC Nation is the ones that were thrown away, and then you checked back in the garbage, and it was actually pure gold, and you didn't know it. It was just thrown in shit for a while.
There you go.
All right.
There you have it, folks.
Boom.
Another episode of Wam Bam's podcast. And as I always say, if your life was a movie, would it be worth watching? And if the answer is no, stop being ordinary and start being extraordinary. Till next Wednesday, I'm your boy. Stay positive, baby, and keep testing negative. I'll see you next Wednesday, and I'm out.